Bro, Kamari got me sick, and I'm literally gonna like lose my mind. It's like the one downside of living with children.
Yeah, they go get the germs from the other kids.
So I'm saying she went to school and she came in the room the other day, looked at me and coughed. Like didn't cover her mouth or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So now I have a nice cold. I can't reach my cough drops because Ozzy's sleeping on me, so I just have to suffer for right now. Then what did I just find? A piece of tape taped to the side of the bed. Yep, gonna yell at Kamari about that one later.
Oh, yeah, you literally have a cat. Well,
No, I can't even reach it right now. Anyway.
dude, I remember being her age getting yelled at, and I promise you the attention span at which I retained that, like, I would just keep doing it again and again.
I know, I think they just don't really like you're not capable of it.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to teach her to ask her mom before she does stuff because the other day she just stuck stickers on her fish tank. I was like, you have to ask before you do things in this household. You're a child. And then 2 days later, she's sticking stickers on the door.
Maybe just take the stickers?
I mean, that would be the logical thing, but I'm not her mother, so. Kenzie's not here, but that's okay. Because we are finishing. No, we're doing this episode without Kenzie because I feel like she doesn't deserve nor get the privilege of being here for this episode. And you guys will see why while we continue the episode.
You really just said that she wasn't cool enough to join the club.
Yeah, she's not cool enough to join the club. So we're here.
Jesus Christ.
I had something else to say, but I can't remember.
I'm sorry. I said pause and you don't know how to do that.
ADHD episode of the podcast today, everyone.
Yeah, we're getting distracted from our normal, like, schedule as a trio. We're getting distracted.
Oh,
on topic, off
told
topic.
me that you guys had the Peter Pan Lorcana card, and I asked you to send me a picture of it.
Sorry, it was so busy. I didn't even finish all my tasks today. I'm sorry. It's I'll send you a picture of it just from on Google.
Do that to me right now so I can see right now.
It's literally the one you're talking about. Anyways, Peter Pan Enchanted. Oh my god, there's literally only one Peter Pan Enchanted card. Look
to the
at that.
listeners, Kayla and I are into Lorcana now.
Ma'am, I said it was an enchanted Peter Pan card. If you just Google it, it's the only Peter Pan enchanted Lorcana card.
Oh, you're asking so much of me.
I'm sorry, that's just the truth. It's not, you know, it's not
Enchanted Lorcana. Oh, Enchanted Peter Pan.
This literally is so ADHD
brain. How much y'all selling this for?
Like 70.
Should I buy it?
How much is it going for? Like
72.
Standard? I don't know how much ours is exactly, but you could put in you got to go to North Coast Games, go to the TCG, and you can order it for in-store pickup, and you don't have to pay for it right now. And I can see if
down, on PayPal I can do 4 interest-free payments of $18.25.
Okay, or I could try to get it for you, see if I could get it at a discount.
Is it worth it?
That's entirely a you question, love.
It's so pretty though, isn't it, Kaylin?
And it's foil in person.
Maybe I shouldn't look at it in person because I'll buy it immediately. It says right here on TCG that it's going down in price, that it actually was $120 in July.
Well,
so maybe it's on the decline. Maybe if I wait another month, it'll be.
We might not have it in a month, so you'll have to buy it elsewhere then.
Okay, anyway.
ADHD brain, people. ADHD brain.
My cat who can't meow just screeched. He came up to me and went.
Speaking of fun facts, Mariah, what's your name and what's your fun fact?
I know, but I need you to hear that. He went like this, Kaylin.
I can't even hear you.
Wait, hold on. He went.
Aw, what a weirdo.
You're listening to Post-Credit Depression, where we talk about this week's current hyperfixation. My name's Mariah, and my fun fact is I'm sitting here recording while cuddled up to my new cat, Ozzy. And I'm a little stuffy, so if I sound weird, that's why.
She's sick as a brick. Okay. My name is Kaylin, and I just started playing a new D&D campaign with some pretty cool people. I'm pretty excited about it, and specifically the fun fact is I just 3D printed my first Hero Forge character, which if you don't know what Hero Forge is, it's a
They
website
don't.
that you can for free make an account and make as many little D&D heroes to your heart's desire. They got lots of cool options, and you can either purchase a model from them or you can purchase credits or individual files to download and 3D print yourself, and printed it out. Messed up a little bit the
What?
sword. What?
It came out really cool. Can you 3D print mine?
Yeah, dude.
Bro.
Um we're gonna scale it up just a little bit though, because the cat's tail, a little bit of his face, and his sword kind of all popped off, but the rest stayed on. But I'm pretty happy with it. It's really cool.
I just want mine to sit on my shelf. But if you 3D print it, I have to paint it, right?
We could paint it for you. But if you wanted to paint it, you could.
No, I would probably have you or Colin paint it because you guys are experts.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Might have to have a conversation with Colin. Just
Why not
cause,
me?
well, I played, cause Colin's 3D printer.
What, to print yours? That's no problem. To paint it?
Okay. I don't know. I'd have to inspect your guys' minis to see who can lay hands on mine.
Alright, I'm hanging up the phone.
Okay. Anyway, so Kaylin, since
What?
it's just you and I at the moment, I took it upon
It's
myself
too intimate.
to experience a very intimate show.
It was quite intimate for, like, I'm
Um,
assuming what's a children's show.
yeah. And I made you finish Julian. Well, I didn't make you, but we had discussed finishing Julian the Phantoms. Despite me being worried the last time we watched it that certain people, including you, weren't going to enjoy it, you understood. You know, this is something where you and I really synced in, which doesn't happen to this intensity this often.
I think all of the prior homework you've assigned me, like One Direction and Justin Bieber, is all led up to this moment, of like how exactly I'm supposed to appreciate this. So I think I get it. And and Skate the Infinity helped too.
So maybe you have the same understanding that I have of Skater Boys.
Yeah, that was some pretty good Skater Boy content. He's got to go on the mood board. Do it for him, Luke.
So we finished Julian the Phantoms. For the listeners, we watched the first couple episodes with Kinsey, and the last 3 Kayla and I watched alone. I don't remember how many episodes there are. I think there's 10 or 8. I think there's 8. So the first 5 we watched with Kinsey, or the first 6 we watched with Kinsey, the last 3 we watched, there's 9. Last 3 me and Kaylin watched alone. And we can run through it again if you'd like, Kaylin.
I have another fun fact.
Please share.
I have acquired autumn squash soup.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know either. It's a liquid that's kind of sweet. It's kind of good. Listen, guys. It's an ASMR channel now. ADHD brain to the max.
ADHD brain.
Thanks, baby.
No.
You were saying, Mariah.
Bro, Ozzy's sleeping facing the wall. He doesn't even want to look at me.
Oh my god, the ADHD brain is so bad today. We're rampant, Mariah. Somebody's got to get a shot collar for us to keep us on task.
We sat down and watched Julian the Phantoms. Let me give the sales pitch of Julian the Phantoms to all of our listeners who may not have watched the first episode. This show is about a girl whose mother died, and she is cleaning out the garage, and she finds stuff about this band, and then all of a sudden the ghosts are in front of her. She's the only one that can see these ghosts. And then they sing with her once because she's lost her ability to sing because she's depressed about her mom dying. And then when they sing with her, all of a sudden people can see them. So they're like, we have to keep singing. This is like awesome because we can be seen when we sing. And Julie's like, I can't sing anymore. And then Luke's hot ass walks in. And she's like, I don't sing no more. And Luke just antagonizes her. That's what it is, Kaylin. That's what it is. He's a little jackass. When you're in high school and you've got a crush on that boy that's like fucking annoying, and he pokes your buttons, and he's like teasing you every day of your life. And then eventually she gave in and she sings with these boys. But the problem is these boys need to figure out if they're gonna fucking die, if they're gonna go to heaven or hell, or if they're stuck
Which
forever.
of the 3 deaths they're facing? Which of the 3 eternities they're facing?
Yeah, which of the 3 eternities they're facing. And it's a very interesting story that was apparently intended for a younger audience. But I've watched this show now 4 times. And I love it. I listen to the soundtrack. And it's very good. And the chemistry is chef kiss. And Kaylin, something about your brain, I think it's the Scorpio placements that really enjoy the intrigueness of them being ghosts.
You know I'm into all that shit. Like, I literally just did a whole entire slideshow based off of, like, souls in the afterlife.
Yeah, and Kinsey took it upon herself to tell us that she just doesn't get it because they can't be together. You know? But you and I watched the ending. Something might be happening or not.
I'm sorry, but if that was Kinsey's crush, like, up on the fucking, like, afterlife, she'd be like, I want to be with him too. I will say, I'm jumping ahead here a little.
You're okay.
That was a little dumb of our main girl, Julie, when he was like, Julie, I'm literally either not going to exist, forced to have to go to the afterlife, or I spend an eternity in this band that, like, you know, I'd basically be a slave for all of eternity. And she was like, no ghost boyfriend, no ghost band. Arms crossed. I'm gonna whip out.
I know. It was kind of like we just had this whole show of like character development about like you grieving the loss of your mother just for you to be like, everyone leaves me. Everything I ever love leaves me. It's like, girl, they're literally ghosts. You knew that.
Also, how selfish. Like, literally, like, I would be like, bro, I'm so sad that, like, the things I love, you know, like, not only are they leaving, it's like, it could be not a great existence, you know?
Yeah, like, they could literally zap away, and then when you die too, you wouldn't see them.
I think they had to portray the upsetness, because, like, kids don't understand subtlety, so they have to do Disney Channel acting for kids to understand it, but I think the proper way to have done it maturely would have been to be like, okay, yeah, guys, I'll help. And, like, while she's pretending to be fine, she's not really fine because she's sad that she's never going to see them again. That's understandable. But it was like this arms crossed, like, oh, you guys are going to leave? How boring.
Yeah, they definitely took it to like a little different of an extreme.
Yeah.
But so the episode that you and I picked up on was the Edge of Grey episode. So we're at it was the one right before Perfect Harmony, where she's like still not admitting that she's a crush on him. And when she goes to her little dance class with the other boy, whatever his name is, loser, lame boy. And then she sees Luke in the mirror. And we have that perfect moment. And obviously he looked goofy as fuck with his hair like that. But the song itself is actually really good. I enjoy their vocals together a lot, and I enjoy the you know, it's funny because at this point we're still like accepting the fact that he's a ghost and they can't be together. The lyrics are so good, like the truth is finally breaking through, 2 worlds collide when I'm with you. We come to life when we're that line right there, that we come to life when we're in perfect harmony. I'm like, bro, you guys literally do come to life when you guys sing in harmony together.
It hits deep to me. I'm like, damn.
It does. Also, and then Luke's line is the love me as I am, I'll hold your music here inside my hands. That's like the verse that Luke sings. And I'm like, fuck. Like, and at this moment, I like the first time I watched it, I'm like just mesmerized. I'm like, they're so in love, they're so cute. And the second time I watched it, I was like, oh my god, they literally can't be together. And like, they're telling each other how perfect they are for each other despite all of this.
I'm surprised that Kinsey don't get it when like she watches Adventure Time and literally like Flame Princess and Finn, they have to have a relationship where like they basically can't like hold hands, kiss, nothing, because like she's literally made of fire.
Yeah, I think it's because Kinsey's like, inevitably he's dead and like inevitably he's gonna leave. It's like one of those things.
So is
like,
your real life boyfriend, anyways.
Yeah, I guess you're not
We all die
wrong.
someday.
So that one's like super good, and then that's like when they both kind of realize they have feelings for each other. And then that exact episode with Perfect Harmony, it ends with Edge of Great, which you already know. I eat that up.
Like Reese's
I
Cup.
enjoyed watching that episode in person with you because your reactions to the chemistry was like the same reaction I had to their chemistry.
It was really good. The acting was like solid, and I don't know. He was also a very attractive actor, which I can say now because we googled it. He's 26. Okay, it wasn't the high school aesthetic. He had the eye contact of like a 26-year-old that
Oh, yeah.
like had a crush on someone.
It's not even the high school aesthetic, it's just the actor himself, like, does a good job. Um, and, like, it is, like, the subtleties in the body language, I think, like, I will give props to that acting because it's so small, the, like, little eye contact, the lingered look that he gives her, the little head nod, and it's so small, and I'm like, "You're swoon."
Sorry, Colin just interrupted.
Oh my.
Sorry, guys.
It's like the little nods, the little lingered looks that he gives her, and I'm just staring here at him, and I'm like,
It's
"Luke,
very
you're swoon.
flirtatious.
You are
It's
head over
extremely.
heels."
I love that it always comes out to you when they're singing, when they're being at their most passionate and energetic, because you could tell that it just like seeps out. It's
Yeah,
very
like,
good
it just comes,
chemistry.
like, naturally. They're, like, naturally drawn to each other, which Edge of Great is literally that scene because I think right before that, Reggie's like, "We can see the chemistry," and he's like, "No, I have chemistry with everyone, watch," and he, like, sings with the Reggie, and it's not the same, and then he's like, "Fine, I won't have chemistry with her on stage tonight," and then he's, like, purposely trying to, like, avoid her, and she's trying to avoid him because her friend's like, "You can't love a ghost," and they're playing this little game of, like, tag almost. And finally, like, Luke gives in, and he's like, come here," and she's like, "No, no, no," and he's like, "Okay, I'll chase after you this time," and it's so cute.
I think we need to have Kinsey rewatch it all.
Maybe we
Just
could just
like
have her
strap
finish
her in a
it.
chair, like put a gag in her mouth,
I think
just
if
keep
we're
her
in
focused.
person, we can get her to finish it,
That is true.
and I think that if we show her that episode, she might. The thing is Kinsey doesn't not admit that the chemistry's good and that the characters are good. She just doesn't see I can't think of the word I'm thinking of. She doesn't see the same enjoyment immediately like you and I do. I was like eating this shit up. Like I'm not expecting the show to be
Like
deep. I'm
Reese's
just
Cups.
expecting it to be good. Yeah, like Reese's cups.
Mm-hmm.
Beat 'em up, beat 'em up, beat 'em up. And then I don't know. I mean, I think like when I watch shows like this, I definitely put myself in a younger mindset where I'm like believing that like love at first sight is real and there's nothing wrong in this world and you know what I mean? It's a different version of Mariah.
Yeah, I mean, I could see with this show, honestly, a lot of you in this show, so I could see why, like, young Mariah, especially, like, this would have been not only your shit, but, like, I feel like your inner child, like, literally eats it up like Reese's Cups.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it every time I want to say eats it up.
It's a new vocal stem.
Mm-hmm.
And then we cut from this episode, and the next one is the Unsaid Emily episode.
Oh, God. Your Snapchat, you were bawling. That was really funny.
It's just so because they hint this song at like episode 2. And she's like, "Who's Emily?" And he's like, "None of your business. Like, don't touch my shit," basically. And so when you get to that part where she's like trying to like kind of close doors for him and you find out that her name's Emily, you're like, "Fuck, what did he write for her?"
Mm-hmm.
And then to find out that it's like the song he wrote the night that they got into that big fight and then he died like days later and it's just so heartbreaking. And it was even more heartbreaking is you get the story of everyone else's family, right? Like they're like, "Alex, your parents stopped talking to you and you came out as gay." Reggie's parents like up and moved out of the state when he died. And we know that Luke's family's still there, like grieving their son.
Mm-hmm.
So then to find out that he's got this song that he's never sang and he gives it to her, it's just so sad to hear it. And I remember before I watched this show, I would see TikToks of this song and I was like, I don't get it. And TikToks would be like, what a happy, good, so fun fucking musical. And then they would cut to that song and they'd be like crying. And I'm like, I still don't get it because, you don't watch the whole scene, then you don't get it. But that moment when like the whole scene changes and everything's blue and red from the ambulance and Luke walks in through the doors singing it, it like hits me with a ton of bricks every time. Like, I'm not kidding, Caitlin. I can visualize the scene in my head every time I talk about it.
Oh.
That exact moment when the lights turn blue and red and the mom stands up and they cut to Luke singing it. I'm like, fuck, here we go. And then I start sobbing.
One thing I'll give the show props for is the way they design this world is like, oh cool, we can see the phantoms every time they sing. That's neat. And so like they kind of find this purpose in living. What's interesting though is we're talking about grief because Julie's mom is dead, and then instead of them being from so long ago or we're so far into the future that like, maybe all of his family had passed, we're in this weird generational thing where people that they knew, they're just older now. And in the world building, they very easily could have said, like, hey, this is going to be crazy, but, and had him either sing to them or, like, basically reveal himself. Like, he could have shown himself, but I like that they didn't because I think that, especially for a kid's show, as dreamy as that is, that's just not reality. It's not real life grief to, like, maybe all
Like,
you
the
get is
parents
that
don't
kind of
always get
goodbye.
the closure. They don't always get to say goodbye the way they want to.
Yeah, so it's like, as sweet as it would have been for the story in the world building, I think that it was nice to leave it at like a note level and to know that like he's there with them and he's watching over them because he is and he was. It's just um it it's just not realistic. It's not how you process real grief. You don't really get like a floating hologram version of your loved one to say bye to. And I think that while it would have been a sweet sentiment like in the show, I'm really happy they kept it a little bit realistic. They kept the cool world building while also keeping it as realistic and, I think it could teach kids a little bit about grief either while they're either before they might go through it or even if someone's going through it, they can kind of connect
Yeah.
to it and maybe feel a little bit um I don't know, feel like they can relate to the characters because it
No, I
just would have,
agree.
yeah, it would have felt weird in an uncanny way had they like had Luke appear before his parents.
I think the show does a really good job of learning about grief. I mean, I said in the first episode, but I watched this the same year my grandpa passed.
Bro.
And obviously, I was sobbing more to subtle things that Julie said due to that.
Is this the same damn show that when I would talk about Hamilton or other musicals, you'd say, "Yeah, I like musicals. Have you heard of Julie and the Phantoms? It's kind of
Mm,
a musical." Is
No,
that
I would probably mention musicals. When you would say Hamlet, I probably would be like, yeah, I liked The Greatest Showman.
bro? I remember you bringing Julie and the Phantoms up multiple times and being like, I would
I don't
bring
know,
up Hamilton, and
were
you'd
they a
be
big hit
like,
at the same time?
"Dude,
Well,
I
let me
would
look it
bring
up.
up Hamilton," and you would bring up this show. I remember this.
When did you watch Hamilton? Because Hamilton came out in 2020.
No, it didn't. Well, the are you talking
Yeah,
about the Disney Plus version? I was listening to Hamilton.
that's what I'm looking at. Disney Plus 2020.
Okay, Disney Plus maybe, but
Maybe it didn't get big.
I had been listening to Hamilton when I was attending CIA.
Okay, so that doesn't help me then. I didn't watch Julie and the Phantoms, dude, till like 2022. So those don't line up.
Me bringing up Hamilton though, like I was always addicted to Hamilton and listening to it
Oh,
for
I mean, I
years.
don't know. I don't know what you're talking about specifically then. I might have mentioned Julie and the Phantoms, but I did watch musicals way before Julie and the Phantom too.
Okay, I was just like referencing it because I was pretty sure that you brought up specific. Like I remember for a while, you're like, you should watch Julie and the Phantoms. You should watch Julie and the Phantoms, and
I
you would bring it. Hold
definitely
on, hold
told
on,
you
hold on.
guys a bunch of times to watch this way before we record it for the podcast because when I watched it, it had an emotional attachment to me.
That's great. Let me finish. You would bring up this, and in my memory, specifically around when I would talk about musicals, so my brain had formulated that this was a theatrical musical, which it kind of like it is a musical, but like in my brain I was like almost like Broadway, like theater level. And so that memory is just a little funny to me because like I always thought Julie and the Phantoms was like almost like another Phantom of the Opera.
First of all, I need you to never disrespect my man Kenny Ortega and his work ever again. He produces musicals. Okay? These are top tier musicals. High School Musical, Camp Rock, Julie and the Phantom deserve to be spoken to during the same conversation as Hamilton. That is my opinion, and I will die on that hill.
It's pretty good.
I think that when we talk about
Like the
giving
Riki
Hamilton awards, we also need Kenny Ortega's name in that same conversation.
You're right. You're right. The High School Musical to Sharpay Ricky Tikki Tabby song, however the fuck it goes, is really good.
Oh, I can't think of it anyways. Also, I don't know if you aren't on social media, so you probably didn't hear the news. I'll get right back to Julian the Phantoms. But while I'm thinking of Kenny Ortega, recently Disney has announced that they are making a young adult adaptation of the Broadway play Phantom of the Opera. And you know who's directing it? Kenny Ortega.
So this is
I
like
don't
a
know.
kid's version?
I think so, which I actually so when I first saw it on Twitter, everyone was dogging it. They were like, "What the fuck? Like, how are we gonna have a kids version of Phantom of the Opera?" But then then they announced that Kenny Ortega was gonna be directing it, and everyone was like, "He never flops. Like, give it to me." I don't know what it's gonna contest of. We will be watching it.
I mean, if they do it right and pull it off right, it could be like they find people with good stage chemistry.
I mean, I have faith
Mm.
in Kenny Ortega. He gave us High School Musical. He gave us Camp Rock. He gave us Julie and the Phantoms. You don't think that you know what he also did? Descendants. You know what he also did? Um, the Michael Jackson stage play. You know what he also did? The Newsies. You know what he also did? Cheetah Girls. If this man lets
I think I only knew Cheetah Girls out of that entire statement, by
my
the way.
God. Kaylin. Well, Descendants like the most recent like Disney shit that was on. We were past Disney by then though. You've watched High School Musical, so he also
Yes.
directed the Newsies, which is an amazing musical. You should watch it. And he also did what is it that I'm thinking of? I don't know, it doesn't matter, but amazing work, okay? Amazing work. That's all that you need to know. So anyway, that's exciting. I'm sure it'll be done right and I will be watching it. Unsaid Emily, I play it in the car when I need to cry sometimes. I do, I'm gonna be honest. When I need when you get those days, Kaylin, when your water signs just like I need to cry and I'll feel better. I play it full blast. I cry the part when he says, the words I most regret ones I never meant to leave unsaid, Emily. And I'm like, those are like it's not the fact that he probably yelled and screamed at his mom, it's the fact that he never said I love you. That kills him. And
the Unsaid Emily title is really good.
Not to like bring the mood down. But I always get really upset that I never went and saw my grandpa when he was getting sick because I didn't want to.
Aww.
So
Mariah, I get that too. With I think I've said this before with my little brother. He had left to go on a trip and it was really awkward because we were both going through our own independent eras and for example, he was doing his own thing, I was doing kind of my own thing, and I remember up towards the end he was kind of trying to come around my group of friends and for example, he was upset because there's only so many seats in the car and we were trying to it was my cousin had a crush on one of my friends, so we were trying to let them ride, and then it was there's just no room in the car or something like that. and or maybe there was, and then we were just like, no, let's let them have their privacy. So we're like, you got to ride home with dad or something. And he was like really upset and pissed off, like, oh, like why can't I come?
Mhm.
Stuff like that. I like kind of regretted towards the end, but then also he very last minute decided he was going to go down to Mississippi, and I remember being told like, yeah, Lane left with and Gloria, and then he kind of left without saying bye, but it wasn't like I doubt it was had anything to do with being upset or anything. And even if it did, I know it
Yeah.
wasn't like to that degree, but um it was probably just like a, yeah, I'm really excited to go, let's go, and like not like a not thinking. Like sometimes I leave the house without
Yeah.
hugging everybody, and so it feels weird knowing like, oh, he's gone, and it was like a month or so when it happened. So it was like weird when it was like the funeral and all that was over. It's like I never got to say bye, but it feels weird because it was like he left on a trip that he's not back on.
Mhm.
It's very, very sad to not say bye.
Understandable. So yeah, Unsaid Emily, really sad. If you ever need a good cry, I highly recommend going in your car and turning it on loud and singing along.
Mm-hmm.
My recommendation for everyone. Um, and then I think that was also a really cute moment to see Julie interact with Luke's mom. I think in another world where the show continued on to another season, we probably would have seen them interact another time.
Yeah, and I mean, even if they did like the full on reveal, like I was talking about, like I guess it wouldn't be the worst thing. It's just like keeping that level of distance between like someone grieving someone they've lost and the person lost. I would rather personally keep it as um metaphysical, supernatural as
Mhm.
possible, because like to just kind of like be like, I'm back, it's just this corny not real thing. It's not real, and I think
Well,
it's
the
quite
question
healthy
is,
to keep. I think it's quite healthy for kids to kind of keep that level of understanding and reality of and finality of losing someone.
yeah. Well, I guess the question is let's just fast forward. They sang their song. They escaped Caleb for the second time.
How'd they even
And
do
all
that?
why'd they do what?
How did they even escape Caleb a second time?
Oh, I think they were with Caleb, and Caleb was low key like tricking them to perform, but they weren't. Their hearts weren't really in it. So because they didn't want to perform with Caleb. They just like all of a sudden were there. And then when Julie was performing, their brains were like not fully set on staying with Caleb. So it was almost like Julie's call was like tugging their souls back to her. Does that make sense?
Oh, that's cool. She's like the Bella, I was thinking. Like she's
Yeah.
like
So which
Bella
is
from
why I
Twilight
think.
when she becomes a vampire and gets the vampire power that nullifies the other vampires' powers.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's why I think like she doesn't nullify their powers, Kaylin.
No, no. So like she basically like counterspell, dispel Caleb's ghost magic, because she's actually incredible. Like she's
No, I'm
probably
talking about Bella. Her power is that they can't manipulate her, not that she can't dispel powers. Like they
can
can't
she just
get
please be a wizard? Shut up.
they like can't get into her brain. That's what it is. So like other vampires' powers worked on her. I'm pretty sure, just not ones
Well,
that
no, 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 no,
involved
no,
getting into her
no,
brain.
because she learned how to create a field of it. So before it was just her, and then
Yeah,
she
I
learned how to
know.
make a force field where basically if you were in Bella's bubble, you couldn't like do
Yeah,
shit in it.
but I think it only had to do when it came to like mental like manipulation because Jasper was still able to use his emotions on her or something like that. I can't remember because it's been so long since I read the book, but I think it had to do with something specifically when it came to like getting access to her brain. And then she could use that field to protect other people's brains too.
I don't fucking remember what
Yeah, well
Jasper's
anyways,
powers are.
okay.
Are
I
we
could be
talking
completely
about
wrong.
Twilight? Or are we talking about
So
Julie and the
anyways, yes.
Phantoms?
I think that's why when Luke was flickering, it was almost like if you lose hope, they stay with Caleb. But I think Luke was at that point where he was like starting to lose hope with the whole situation, and that's why he like flickered back because he was like, "Fuck, Julie's calling my name, and I should go there." But also like, is there a point? Is this really
Yeah.
gonna work? Type deal.
Yeah.
And then they don't go to the other side. But then all of a sudden, Julie can hug them.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And
I
then,
really wish I got to see more of that.
well, so this is my issue. This is why I told you when we talked about the other day. Why the fuck do I not get another season when there was literally like 3 doors not closed, right? Like the ghosts aren't ghosts anymore. Nick's possessed by Caleb. Um and like the dad or the girl's dad, whatever the fuck his name was, isn't getting his karma for claiming the sunset swerve, whatever there are. Curve. Sunset Curve's music, right? Like I think I need these answered. And the fact that I'm never gonna get another season upsets me because I know that there were intentionally more seasons written because they purposely left it on that cliffhanger.
Well, first of all, speaking of Twilight, my reaction to Nick getting possessed and turning around all dark and spooky and scary like that, I said, now we're watching Twilight, because the way he turned around was super like vampiric, like Twilight energy. Like it was really creepy. And it like honestly seeing that kind of acting without the blue filter over the screen in Forks, Washington, really like highlights how weird acting like that is. Second of all,
gosh.
now that I've finished it, my first reaction was like, dude, we got like 5 years, like, and we can maybe get the gang back together, try it again, maybe 10, like, and you were like, dude, it's already almost been 5, and it's like, wow. And so, yeah, hopefully worst case scenario, like, besides it just never existing, maybe he can get an author to publish the screenplays as like novels, you know?
Yeah.
Like that way it's like you get the canon version as to what happened. Cause like that was pretty crazy. But I mean, the only thing about doing that is it's literally about a band, so how can you listen to that?
I mean,
Or
I guess
maybe just invest in a
musical.
graphic novelist.
Yeah, and it just kind of like, I mean, like I said, I watched this a couple years ago, so my feelings have subsided. But I remember being like, honestly, like, I'm gonna sound dramatic, like emotionally eaten up about the fact that that's the ending of the show, like period, point blank ending. It like kind of hurt me internally to know that I wasn't going to see the people on the screen anymore, or ever know the truth of what happened at the end.
And also like, what about the children?
Not the I don't care about the children. They're gonna find the next CoComelon and they're gonna watch that. I'm talking about me, like
What
Caitlin,
about little middle
time,
schooler Mariah out there who was like literally
fan
writing on
fiction.
this?
I would have been reading fan fiction.
Okay, but like, would that really have filled the hole inside? Would
If I
that?
was 14,
No, it's just
15,
drugs
16,
to get you by.
you're not wrong. I just
There's a
feel like,
difference between closure and healing, and just
yes.
filling it up inside so you feel a little less empty.
I just like, I genuinely get upset. Like, I'm not kidding, Caitlin. I know I sound dramatic, but like, I think 10 years from now, if someone looks at me and mentions Julie and the Phantoms, I'm gonna feel the same upsetness then as I do right now when I think about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
Well,
fair.
meeting is adjourned. I have nothing else to say on this sour note.
You
I'm
mean
just kidding.
you can't
I'm just kidding.
find out the truth and the answer and make it happen for my eyes only?
I can try to meet this Jenny Ortega man, and like,
No, Kenny. His
unfortunately,
name is Kenny.
Kenny Ortega, and I'll talk to him, and I'll say, "Hey, Ken George, listen, I'm not the biggest fan necessarily, so don't get freaked out. I'm not one of those crazy High School Musicalers. However, I did
And then
happen.
really
Hold on,
quickly when you
hold on.
talk, okay.
I did happen upon your Netflix series, and your writing, not bad. It was pretty good.
Not
Again, I'm
bad.
not a crazy fan. I'm not a crazy fan trying to like stalk you or whatever, so don't be weirded out that I'm in your house. But listen, I mean, you basically wrote the ghost doing the same thing to other people, so you should be fine. But anyways, I'm just here to pick up the manuscripts. I'm not doing anything with them. It's genuinely for cool reasons. and I'll bring them right back to you. Full disclosure, NDA signed. I
Yeah.
got you. I'll sign whatever papers you need me to
No,
sign.
no. But Kaylin, I also need you to not only get a hold of Kenny Ortega, and also when you speak to him, can you tell him that you sided with Sharpay and not Vanessa Hudgens when you talked to him? Um, can you also get the scripts, and then I need you to find Madison and the girl who the main character, and I need you to find the guy who plays Luke, and I need them to also act out their scenes for me specifically, or it won't be the same.
See, what if I try to get them together, but like they're so big and famous now that
They're
like they
not
have
right
this
now,
like
though.
ego to them that they start acting up and they're like and then like you see the side of your idol that you didn't want to see. You're like, oh, I imagine you're this kind of person, but you're actually this kind.
I
And it's
need when
okay.
we get
It's okay
famous.
because humans are flawed, so it's fine. I accept you for who you are, but like I didn't want to see
When
that
we
side
get
of you.
famous, I'm okay with anyone else being played by anyone else. I just need you to get me Luke and Julie, and I need them to do their scenes.
Really?
Like, I
Not
don't care.
Alex?
I mean, I do love Alex, but then I have to also get Reggie, and he's got a whole child to take care of now. So if you could just cast some other people for me, and then just make sure Julie and Luke are there.
Do you think I'm made of money? How am I supposed to hire these people? Pay them for the time that they're
That's
worth?
the thing. That's the thing. You're just supposed to make it happen for me.
Okay, right, but I'm not made of money and we got to figure this out. We got to make a plan, okay? I need you to go and start doing white blood cell transfusion donations and I need you to go sell your blood for
Okay.
$200 a pop and honestly, hopefully I can pay these people. I'll pay them a little bit over minimum wage, but again, not made of money over here. We're just doing God's work. We're doing
Mhm.
like it's for
It's
psychological
just for my
health.
own well-being. We don't even need it on film. Like, they could just do it in front of me.
It's for health and wellness, so at this point it's basically charity, so they're lucky they're getting paid at all.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Okay,
I'm
I
okay
think I
with
can make
that.
this work.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
I think it would make me just like I think it would cure every problem I've ever had in my life ever.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Man,
Well,
my brain just went to dark places.
actually, instead of the one thing it won't cure is like getting One Direction back together.
Hmm. I can't fix that one.
Yeah, I don't think you can fix that one, but I'm just saying like Julie and the Phantom season 2 might heal like 75% of my life problems.
You know how
Oh,
like
and
NSYNC
Kaylin, also I
recently
need
got
you
back
to do
together?
8 season 2. That would add to it.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Do
Yeah,
you remember
thank you.
how NSYNC recently got back together? It was either for a show or like they actually got back
They got
together.
together for like a show, yeah, or like a
Yeah.
song or some shit.
Do you think that they would do that for your One Direction?
No, I think the difference is NSYNC flopped except for Justin, where One Direction, Harry and Niall are still very successful, and Zayn is still pretty successful as well. Louis is doing pretty well. Liam's doing whatever Liam does. The difference is they all were doing jack shit except for Justin. And the reason why NSYNC didn't get back together is because Justin literally was like, I literally don't need you guys. Like, I'm doing fine by myself.
Mm. And then he like got that DUI and probably was not doing
And then
fine.
he
And then
said
he
the
got
world tour.
what'd you say?
He said this is gonna ruin the tour.
Was gonna ruin the tour. He also got like bashed for being mean to Britney as he should have.
He's actually getting a lot of shit for that because there's actually a lot more that I've just never bothered looking into. But he's a horrible person.
Yeah. Apparently, my not at my new job, but at my old job, my previous manager is like cousins with one of the NSYNC members, and like she
Which
went to
one?
that show. Like, which one? What do you mean?
Which NSYNC member?
I don't know. I don't pay attention. But like, she's like cousins with him. Obviously not Justin, because like she didn't say Justin. I would have retained Justin, but like, yeah, they're like cousins. It's crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's nice.
This is honestly this feels as horrid as a boy band breakup, which I've never gone through, so this feels like going through my first one.
This is a
And it's
privilege
just a
that you have.
Netflix. I've
Yeah,
earned my badge of honor.
yeah. So I listen to the soundtrack still in my free time.
As you should.
Yeah, it's okay. It helps me get by.
And
Well,
you know what?
Kaylin,
Maybe you'll be that one more listener that like sends it over the top as far as like them rebooting the show. Like, hey guys, there's someone out there who's played this many times, and along with hundreds of thousands of others, and we were almost considering not, but like we just hit like the quadrillion listeners, and it was like you that did it.
Don't get my hopes up.
Maybe. Why not? What's wrong with having a little hopes, a little bit of dreams?
Because in 10 years...
We could be on the edge of great, Mariah.
Because 10 years from now, I'm going to be at a social gathering, and someone's going to mention Julie and the Phantoms, and I think it's going to trigger something in my body.
Hey, when are we getting season 2 of Skate?
You know what? They told us last year that we were going to get an OVA about Joe and Cherry, and then we got nothing. And then during the reunion, like a month ago, you know what they did? Instead, on Recky's birthday is when they announced new stuff. And the most recent birthday, we got new Adam art. Not even like a date or anything. You know, what's the point, Kaylin? What's the point of enjoying media to this high level of capacity like I do, and then getting nothing from it? Julie and the Phantoms, Skate the Infinity. Like, why do they do this? I could like make their last season into a movie. Like, I just feel like, I know, but I don't know, like, you understand it, Kaylin, but to the listeners, you're not gonna understand it because I don't know how to put in words. Good morning, Ozzy. You're not gonna. No one listening is really gonna understand me probably, but Kaylin and Kinsey would understand this. There's something wrong with me. Yes. There's something. The feelings that I feel internally about things like Skate or Julie and the Phantoms or like something that like it like does something inside of me. Like it really. Like, you understand with Skate, it brought something outside of my body that, like, it can't be satisfied now. You know what I mean? Unless I think about Skate. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to put this in words. I probably sound chaotic right now. Like, I have a mental illness. But, like, I love Attack on Titan. I love Haiku. But it's, like, a different person when I'm watching things like Skate.
Clip that. I gotta make an animatic out of that.
Why?
I want that whole rant. I want every little stuttery word to have a completely differently drawn picture, and I'm gonna make a whole animatic out of it.
Oh my gosh.
So clip it. Literally, like, it's gonna be, like, very intense.
It hurts me, like, internally to know that this is it. So.
I just burped.
And that's why I'll probably watch it again in a year's time, and Kinsey will be like, I just don't get it, Mariah. And you know what? Maybe it's not for her to get.
That was very, like, speaking of, I was just about to bring up Over the Garden Wall. That was very Over the Garden Wall, the way you just said that. And it's just not hers to get.
It's not hers to get.
It's pretty much time. Once September hits and the air starts to get chilly, I've decided that, like, when the mood strikes, I don't care if it's not October yet. I'm just going to hit play on it, because if I wait till October, sometimes the mood passes. It's weird.
This is the first year that I didn't watch it in the summer. I usually watch it in July, and I didn't.
Last year, I don't think I finished it, or maybe I did watch it all the way through. I don't know. I like to sit down and formally watch it all the way through, though. I can't believe Hosier wrote Over the Garden Wall.
Oh my gosh.
If you guys don't get that reference, go watch the Dante's Infernos episode.
Well, Kaylin, I really enjoyed watching Julie and the Phantoms with you. I'm glad that you enjoyed Julie and the Phantoms almost as much as I did.
I did. Did you enjoy watching me play Phasmophobia?
Yes, I did. And I'm very much glad that I got to share this with you.
Aw. Thanks, Mariah.
Of course. And I will talk to you the next time we record together.
Yes, sir. I love you.
I love you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hold on, I gotta tell Craig to stop. I almost forgot.
Gotta tell Craig to stop. Gotta tell Craig to stop. Gotta tell Craig to stop. Gotta tell Craig.